And so, the road has reached its end for the former god of mischief turned god of stories, as indeed the entire Marvel universe is reaching its end because of Secret Wars. Let's jump into Loki, Agent of Asgard, number 17, and see how this finale shakes out, shall we? So, as the comic opens, Loki and his ghost pal Verity are standing in negative space below the gods of Ragnarok, the gods of the end times. The gods say Loki is now to fulfill the function in which he was created for, to regale them with the stories of the gods in the time before Ragnarok, so they may absorb the powers of those stories and, I guess, continue to live on, I suppose? I don't know, it's all very, very vague. Loki, as he is wont to do, however, decides to completely and utterly flip the script on these guys, instead telling his own kind of story. Actually, the place where he is right now in this panel is a reference to an older issue from earlier on in the run, where we saw a storyteller sit around a campfire with a group of people wearing a hat that looked very similar to one of Loki's hats, wherein he tells them the story of the great Norse gods, the Thunderer, the Allfather, the Allmother. But you kind of can't help but get the feeling that the storyteller is just kind of making stuff up as he goes along, lying, more or less, just, you know, give names and give great backstories to the thunder and the fire just so the people following him aren't as scared of the natural world. Loki definitely feels like he has his opponents exactly where he wants them, and he poses to them the great chicken and egg argument. Did the gods create mankind to serve as them, or did mankind create the ideas and stories behind the gods to serve the purposes they needed? And oh wow, we're in one of these endings, aren't we? And when I say one of these endings, what I'm really talking about is a Gainax ending. What's a Gainax ending, you might be asking yourself? Well, I get the feeling the anime fans of you out there already know what I'm talking about. Why, yes, a Gainax ending is indeed a reference to Evangelion. An ending that, well, kind of isn't an ending at all. It's just, you know, pelting the reader slash viewer with a lot of philosophical imagery, a lot of big ideas, a lot of symbolism, a lot of meta-ness, but not really saying anything, or at least saying, hey man, you know, the ending's up for you to decide, man. And I'm not just, you know, blowing smoke here, because literally in the very next panel, Loki, the god of stories, comes face to face with old King Loki from the dark future that I suppose will no longer come to pass because of Secret Wars. In an incredibly Scooby-Doo-esque moment, Loki reaches down and pulls the mask off his older self, revealing a face that looks, well, a lot like his. Again, the symbolism, do you get it? Furthermore, the two men go on to talk about the death of the superego and how this Loki turned out so different, yet the other one turned out to be a hero. The absence of the self, becoming not, leaving behind attachment. Yeah, there are many cells. Congratulations, Loki. Let's all stand around and give you a big old applause. So after learning that maybe he could love himself and maybe his life could have a greater value, Loki ends up taking the staff of old King Loki. Using its power, Loki and Verity could go, well, anywhere in time and space. He says, though, that, you know, maybe they should skip what's going on in Secret Wars and Battle World right now, and maybe they should go to the future, to something new. And then he quite literally draws an exit sign for them, and that's the end. You know, throughout its 17-issue run, Loki, Agent of Asgard was in many ways that little book that could. I know a lot of people made fun of it off the bat because they thought, oh look, here comes a solo series, just because everyone's in love with Tom Hiddleston Loki, so now we're gonna get a younger, hipper one. And yet the book, I felt, overcame that. The first couple arcs were a really good caper heist sort of story. Then the book evolved and dealt with Loki dealing with his own identity and his place within Asgard and his family, and it was all really compelling stuff. Even the last couple issues where the dial got turned up yet again and we got an amazing Norse heavy metal album cover finale to the whole Asgardian saga because the Thor book couldn't do it. It's just unfortunate that the final issue had to fall into a trap that so many different stories fall into by basically just making itself impenetrable. I mean, I guess it is cool that this book seems to say that Loki and Verity will survive the events of Secret Wars and will make it into the new Marvel Universe completely unscathed, which I appreciate. Just, I mean, you know, when you reread this story in trade, maybe skip this final issue and just make up your own ending. Overall, I give this one a 5.5. It looked nice, but I can't really recommend this one. Hey guys, Joel here reminding you that this video was made possible thanks to our many great patrons. If you want to become a patron and get exclusive comic book cast content, then click the Patreon link below and see how you can help us bring you the content you've come to love. Every little bit helps, and thanks for listening.